Never have enough time to play it all. You know everybody wants to walk in someone else's shoes. Everyone's forgot who they are. Such a crime to waste his time away. Such a low down, goddamn dirty thing. There's a man that I know who works his fingers to the bone. Never gets to spend any time at home at all. He's working, slaving all day, watching his life skedaddle away. Another life that's bound to fade away.
Just jump to the. Oh, yeah.
Hello, welcome back to Otter Creek in Rio Grande, where I survived another bout with the radial arm saw, no loss of life or limb. And this is what 4 pieces of plywood looks like after you saw it up. So I've ripped everything down to 3.5 inch strips of lumber, and then I went ahead and cut, I believe, 5 of those in half, so I've got enough 1.75 inch strips that I can create up to 10 L girders. Now, since I'm in rip mode, I'm gonna go ahead and rip up 2 full sheets of this masonite that I've got hidden back there in that mess. Hopefully I won't get bit by a brown recluse or anything. So I'm gonna get busy doing that, and that will be my spline road bed, so stand by. So that's what 2 sheets of 1/4-inch masonite looks like after you rip it down to, I think that's 1 3/4. I think that's what it is. I can't remember. Because what I did is there's another sheet that's already ripped. I just threw one of those pieces up on the saw and gauged the width of it by that so that they'd all be the same length. It takes 5 of these to equal the width of the roadbed. So, and I've got them in stacks of 5. I figure I've got somewhere between 60 and 70 feet of spline roadbed right here. And if I've done my math right, and let me be clear, I'm not good at mathing, but if I've done my math right, I should have, 54 feet to go through my next town to the second town after staging. So I think I've got everything I need here, plus, as a matter of fact, I may actually have all the spline roadbed I need for the entire layout. But I've certainly got more than I'm gonna use probably in the next year or 2 years cut up and ready to go. I'm beat. It's been kind of a long day. I'm ready to drink an adult beverage and get back to this in the morning. Sometimes you just have to stop and organize and clean, and that was really bugging me. So I feel better about that. The only real problem now is I've got all of this stuff, which is really pretty much just scrap crap I got to figure out what to do with. Well, as you can see, I've gotten started on some bench work. And so this little run right here, this is all scrap stuff that I'm just trying to make use of. And it's not really ever going to support anything other than maybe a track that comes off and goes over here. But it's here because I do think I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in. And it's also going to start be kind of the far right end beginning of the supports for what benchwork comes this way. And as you can see, I have roughed in my aisle here, and this is 36 inches here, it's 36 inches back there. I'm pretty sure that that's pretty close to where it's going to be. And here's the problem I have right now. This thing, it's a beast. It weighs like 1,000 pounds or something, and it's like 15 feet long. It doesn't look like it here, but I'm gonna have to get that out of here now, or I will never get it out. As a matter of fact, I'm not so sure that I'm not already blocking the door with this. I'm hoping that I don't have to remove this before I get that out of here. So I guess that's what I need to do next, as much as I don't want to. see, I've got my first two L girders in here going that direction, and there's, a couple things that I probably ought to explain. The first is, you might be wondering, why didn't I just connect this L girder over here in this area? And the biggest reason why is, for one, this doesn't really line up with the corner of the workbench. And I also am going to undersling my computer somewhere between here and here, so it will actually be underneath the top of the joist. And I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, but I wanted enough room that I could swivel my chair up underneath here and have a computer station. Now, that's all kind of yet to be seen exactly how it's going to work out yet, but I'm planning on that. Now, the next point of consideration is what's going to go on above the workbench. Ignore the workbench. It's a catastrophe, but if your workbench is clean and pristine all the time, there might be something wrong with you. I'm just going to say that, Michael McCarville. I've seen your workbench and it's way too clean. So there's going to be two tracks come across here. One will be at a higher level than other, and they're going to come across here, and then one level will stay essentially at the level of where the blue sky is. And then on the back side of that is kind of a third level that's just a scenic, I guess what you call a route to another level that's back over here. So what I'm wanting to do here is, when the staging yard leaves here, there's going to be two other tracks that come across here somewhere. And I want to create a mountain ridge here somewhere, because I'm standing right here in front of the door. So that the first thing you see when you walk into the room obviously is not this mess, but a ridge line. And I might even completely go to the ceiling with some of the mountain. I'm not sure how all that's going to work, but one of the things you're going to see is a wooden trestle as, kind of a signature scene here, where that highest level track that's going to run across the back here is actually going to be going across a wooden trestle here somewhere, where hopefully it will be one of the first things you see as you walk in the room. So as I move forward, I'm going to continue this L girder down that way about 13 feet and then figure out exactly how I'm going to come across here from this L girder on the back side of my pony wall there. So I'm going to get started making some more L girders. Well, you can see the progress I've made here. Went ahead and laid in my sub road bed, my spline. I got two pieces glued together just to kind of see how that's going to work. So it's going to go down on that end, make a loop, come back across, and then come this way. And then some of this area here will also be visible, just like a little bit of this area in here will be visible. Now, I'm doing some head scratching because I've got to figure out how the town that's going to be in here, Roaring Fork, I'm going to have to change the name of that town. It needs to be, I believe the target height is 48 inches. So the top of this board right here right now is 43. So I need to figure out, can I sneak around, come in here with my spline road bed, and I'm thinking about putting just a whole nother L girder up across the top of here. And of course there will also have to be one in here somewhere. That way I can extend my joists across this way for supports of the spline road bed. And I'm sure none of that makes sense to you. I'll try and throw some pictures up. So I think I'm gonna move this around a little bit and see what it looks like coming out of the same area. And so you can see, I'm pretty sure that's gonna work. What I'll need to do is this riser here will need to come back about a foot. That will give me a little more leeway there as that comes through there to get a nice gentle arc. And of course, what you can't see is the joist here. And then have another L girder up here, and there will be the mountain. So I think that's really all I've got time to do this weekend. Didn't get as far as I'd like to have gotten, but there is progress being made, and I'm enthused, so see you next time.